Hi guys, so I've made this little segment today called Mat Manners. It is a guide to the etiquette in the yoga studio. So hopefully it will help with maybe some questions about what to do or not to do in the yoga studio. So let's get started with Mat Manners, etiquette for the yoga studio, with my little top 10 list here. So number 1 is socks and shoes. Most people know to take their shoes off when they enter into the yoga space. For hygiene reasons, leave them at the door. Never ever tread over other people's mats with your new Nike Pro Air athlete footprints all over their mat. So leave your shoes at the door. As for socks, I know a lot of people don't want to take their socks off because their feet are ugly, their feet smell, they have corns, warts, bunions, etc, etc. They've not had a pedicure for 4 weeks, whatever. It's really important that you practice barefoot, and another reason is because we are trying to encourage body acceptance, so that goes all the way down to the toes, guys. So please take your socks off, don't be shy. As for the teachers, we've seen every shape, form, size, anomaly of feet going. We don't care. So be brave and go naked. Number 2, just like in the cinema, turn cell phones off so that everyone can enjoy the movie. Even if your cell phone is off, keep your cell phone in a bag off to the side. Even when people bring them to their mats, it's still a reminder for everyone about all the cell phone calls, texts, emails that they could be doing, they should be doing, and so on. So keep the cell phones off to the side. If you have a really important call, like an emergency going on, then I would recommend that you don't take that class. If it's that much of an emergency that you need to take your phone call, then you shouldn't be taking yoga class. So in emergencies, stay off the yoga mat and come to a later class. Number 3 is water. Obviously in the hot classes, they give you breaks to hydrate because your body temperature is rising and you're sweating so much. In the regular classes though, I would say that you don't need to have your water breaks. We don't sweat ridiculously much, and you don't want to be practicing having your belly sloshing around full of water, just as you wouldn't with food in your belly. So stay hydrated before, and maybe half an hour after class you can drink water. But again, try and keep all the distractions. We're trying to keep the yoga space as pure as possible without having socks and shoes around, without having water bottles around, without having cell phones around. So really having a clear space for yourself to practice in. Again, number 4, bathroom breaks. Same kind of thing as the water breaks. I know when I was a kid in school, when the going got tough, it would be, excuse me, can I go to the bathroom please? Go to the toilet before, boys and girls. Again, in emergency use, absolutely fine. But I do see, like, the water breaks, the bathroom break can be used as an avoidance tactic. So know thyself. If you have got into the habit of nipping off to get water or to go to the bathroom during practice, try and rest in child's pose instead. That way you're staying through your challenge, you're staying on the mat and really going through whatever discomfort it is that you are trying to avoid by going to the bathroom or getting water. Number 5, the mat. The mat is an extension of yourself. It is an extension of your body. So it kind of pains me when I see people coming into class with their mats all crumpled up and they kind of throw it down on the ground any old how. Because really, what is that saying about yourself? So come into class with your mat neatly rolled up, roll it out with respect. It is your space that you're creating for the yoga class. Don't get too finicky either about, that it has to be absolutely in line and straight, so we don't want one extreme or the other. Leave distance between your mats. We all know that even if we're not physically touching someone, we do have a space around us that we like to keep, and there's nothing worse than practicing feeling that someone's just too close in your space. So leave distance between the mats. If it's a busy class, stagger the mats so that when you come to the salutations, you don't take your two neighbours out on either side. Make sure that you have a mat that is comfortable for yourself and that you can use props to support your knees in any kneeling poses. Which brings me on to the props. Again, like the mat, keep your props close to your mat and tidily beside it. Sometimes as a teacher going around the room, the props can become a bit of an obstacle course, so keep them close to your mat. And again, when it comes to using the props, there's no confusion about whose block is whose, so we don't have any what I call prop wars. Number 7, to or not to Many teachers begin the class with the chant of and I know for some people they don't feel comfortable doing the so I always say, if you don't feel comfortable, you can just sit back, relax and listen to it. Regardless of your belief system, it is a nice way for a teacher to signify the beginning of the class. It kind of draws everyone together. It can go further than that if you wanted to, but it can just be like music in the background, and you absolutely do not need to if you do not want to just sit back and listen. Number 8, Yoga Olympics. So we all know when we are practicing next to someone who seems to be trying out for the Yoga Olympics, it doesn't make us feel good, and the person who's practicing in that way, you know, that's fine if they want to practice that way in their own home practice, but the yoga room isn't a place to show off or to kind of have yourself feeling you're better than anyone else. So be humble, be proud of your practice, but don't go too far with the Yoga Olympics. Number 9. This one is the ultimate sin of the yoga world. Leaving without taking shavasana, the final relaxation pose. I'm going to explain why it's a real biggie, this one. The yoga poses are designed in a way that you are having an effect on your body. At the end of the practice, you want to just let everything, all the poses, percolate through your body, and that means lying down and being still. When people leave during shavasana, it's distracting for the rest of the class. For many people, it's the only rest they might get during the day and sometimes night. If you need to leave the class early, it is better that you just tell the teacher beforehand, and most teachers will be okay with you just taking your shavasana even while everyone else is doing their poses. It's a lot more respectful than all of a sudden just hot-tailing it out of the class. So I would encourage you, know your schedule. Whenever the class is supposed to finish, also know that most teachers go over 5 minutes. If you know you have to be somewhere else, give yourselves 5 minutes beforehand, lie down, take your shavasana. And the last one is to enjoy your yoga practice. That is a very, very important part of the Mat Manners series. So have fun, enjoy the hour and a half where you're just doing something different with your body than you would do for the rest of the day, and don't get too caught up in all the rules that I have mentioned beforehand. Hopefully this helps, and as always, if you have any comments or questions, then you can leave them below. We've all had maybe more experiences where they want to ask about other things, so please feel free to comment questions, and I'm always looking for new ideas for my new little YouTube series. So happy practice everybody, have a super wonderful day. Namaste.